When discussing Middle-earth, it is essential to talk about some of the locations and places described within the narrative and what it all meant to Tolkien. While I'm sure all of these places have significance, I have chosen 3 locations as they will be relevant to what will be revealed going forward: Gondor, Rohan, and Moria. One of the most important and influential territories within the world of Tolkien is undeniably Gondor, more specifically with the city named Minas Tirith, which is referred to twice in the books as the City of Kings. This is portrayed within the story as the White City upon a mountainous landscape that stands directly against Mordor. This is where Aragorn, one of the main protagonists of the story, is eventually crowned king. Considering Tolkien's Catholic background, it should be no surprise that this is to represent the Vatican, as disclosed by Tolkien's biographers. As Berzer reports from Tolkien's letters in Sanctifying Myth, with the return of the king Aragorn to his rightful throne, Tolkien argued, the progress of the tales end in what is far more like the re-establishment of an effective Holy Roman Empire with its seat in Rome. Early Protestants, such as Martin Luther, John Knox, William Tyndale, Thomas Cranmer, Charles Spurgeon, and many more, believed that the Vatican was the prophesied Whore of Babylon mentioned within Revelation 17 to 18, due to the mass killings the Roman Catholic Church had done to millions of people who defied the teachings of the papacy. The Bible itself says about the Whore of Babylon, the woman who rides the 7-headed dragon, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And the 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth, which the Vatican notably does, with no other location being able to match this description with the same geographical qualifications. The other realm that we can address is that of Rohan, a nation in Middle-earth that is based on the Anglo-Saxon England of the Middle Ages, as the language of the Rohirrim is based on Old English, and Éowyn even sings in the same dialect in the special edition of The Two Towers at her brother's funeral. The name Theoden itself means literally king in Old English. When we are first introduced to Rohan, its leaders are reluctant to join forces with Gondor, but when it comes to fighting the armies of Mordor, both set aside any past differences to fight against the common enemy. It would be more than possible that Rohan, due to the plot of the trilogy and Tolkien's real-world aspirations for ecumenicism, could represent specifically Protestant England, given its history as a place where the movement once thrived, and a potential return back to the self-proclaimed Mother Church through recognizing the Pope as the Vicar of Christ and the acknowledgement of papal-administered ordinances. This was a sentiment that was promoted within what was referred to as the Oxford Movement back in the 19th century, a movement that started within Oxford University, the university that Tolkien lectured at. All one has to do is look at the relationship between Tolkien and C.S. Lewis to understand the impact this sentiment had on these two men, or at least on the surface, as Lewis's beliefs were truly more Catholic than anything else. Tolkien himself expressed, I find myself in sympathy with those developments that are strictly ecumenical, that is concerned with other groups or churches that call themselves, and often truly are, Christian. We have prayed endlessly for Christian reunion, but it is difficult to see, if one reflects, how that could possibly begin to come about, except as it is, with all the inevitable minor absurdities. Again, Berzer writes, "The Lord of the Rings became much more than a myth for any one people or any one nation. Instead, became a myth for the restoration of Christendom itself." We'll talk more about these two locations, but now let us focus on another important place and another significant people that Tolkien alludes to in his letters and writings. In a letter, Tolkien wrote, "I do think of the dwarves like Jews, at once native and alien in their habitations, speaking the languages of the country, but with an accent due to their own private tongue." When we look at the Jewish people in the context of Scripture, they have an essential part to play in the Bible, being they were God's chosen people, and the entire canon of Scripture was written by the hands of Jewish men. It could easily be seen that Moria, the dwelling place of the dwarves, would be the equivalent to an allegorical Jerusalem.